Hello, Zimbabwe football fans. Welcome to another exciting episode of In Touch with the Legend. Yes, your favorite footballing show where we bring you a Zimbabwe footballing legend to come and share with us their football journey. We have been to Mutare. We did interviews with the likes of Shepard Muradzikwa. We also did with Anthony Masunda as well. But we are now with the big one. The big one, we've got Arnold Tsunga. We are back, but we are not in Mutare, by the way. He is here in Harare. We met him in Harare. He's based in South Africa. He will tell us all about it, but he is right here in Harare. This is Arnold Tsunga. Arnold.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Totally greater.
Greater.
Yeah.
And, I accept your small exaggeration. You're going to the big one.
Yes. Oh, you're very popular. You know, Mutare, Arnold Tsunga. No, yes. Everyone knows you in Mutare. Yeah. You are big, to be honest. No. If you didn't know, because we were there. We were there, and most of the conversations as well with the former footballers. Yeah. Your name kept on popping up. So you're quite big. Even when I was born, got Arnold Tsunga Mutare. Yeah. You so good we don't
you get something.
You get something.
Yeah. No, thanks. Thanks.
Otherwise, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for coming to the show. But like always, trying to rush kuti Gweta anozikanwa Mutare, but people they want to know how exactly. How did it get there? Because where were you born and everything? So we want to know right from the beginning. Yeah. Where were you born?
No, thanks. I was actually born in Bulawayo because my father was working for Dunlop.
Oh, okay.
Though during that time there were a lot of complications around my birth certificates. Mm-hmm. So what then tended to happen was at the stage of collecting my birth certificate, there was a huge problem with the register of deeds, and my birth certificate then records me as born Kwamtasa, which is actually where I come from. I come from Wonde Valley.
Kwamtasa, yeah. But you were not born
actually
there.
Born in Bulawayo.
You were born in Bulawayo. So I'm going to make a good mistake.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where I was born. So
which hospital?
Luveve Hospital, Bulawayo, in 1966. Okay. Yeah. So it's a long time ago. So we're getting a bit ancient now.
You were born the same year with my second oldest brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Same year.
And then immediately after being born there, because we come from Wonde Valley, we stayed.
You're from Wonde Valley?
Wonde Valley.
You know I'm from Wonde Valley.
I know you're from, there are a lot of soccer players from Wonde Valley.
We are a lot of them.
A lot of them.
You can name them.
When we talk about soccer development, we're going to have to see how presence of such a huge pool of soccer players from Manicaland, it also evidence that if we had proper soccer development policies, we would have so many players. But just Manicaland yourself.
Would be big.
Yourself, myself, Nomene Mapeza,
Lloyd
Chitembe,
Joseph Tagaringofa,
Makonike, Wanasa Rupinda, Japhet Mparutsa. It's amazing. Such a huge number. Yeah. So, and then that speaks to the fact that we could actually have a team here Premier League in a remote place like Wonde Valley. Yes. But why don't we have it? No soccer development in our country.
We should actually have a Wonde Valley Stadium.
You see?
I've always told people that a dream. That one day there's going to be a Wonde Valley Stadium. Can I 30,000 seaters?
A good dream.
World class. Yeah. You do not Real Madrid. Yeah. You'll go for pre-season.
Yeah. So maybe you and I have a responsibility as part of giving back to the community to think more broadly about your dream. Yeah. Because I think a dream can be so important if it can translate from an idea into action.
I hope it does.
I hope so too. But let's talk about it after this show.
Yeah, so you're born in Bulawayo.
Yes, so born in Bulawayo. Just being born. But otherwise I grew up, my early childhood, go Wonde Valley. Kungozvarwa because mama had gone to vakachira Mdara when she was
pregnant. Oh, yes.
And then luckily for me, then I got born in that area.
Saka pa register pepe moms ndo wakangonyore saka because I use mistakes there. I think banaka
tombokudzwa. So when they found that to be too difficult, they said, let's just say because of one day and Manyono village, let's just say kwa Manyono we look for an old lady who can be a witness so the date of birth is correct and the year of birth is correct. what may just be wrong is place of birth, but no one cares about that, do we? And the identity, Arnold Tsunga, is the correct identity.
Arnold is here.
Okay. So born Ikoko, so I grew up Gonde Valley. I started my primary in 1973. But Samaringa School. Samaringa School. Samaringa. That's where Lloyd. We played together. Maybe we could have played Radiki, Sataziwana. But I know when we had my holiday games, Lloyd would be playing for a team that was opposing mine. That to my teams to Ikoko, to my rivalries. So
interesting.
So Samaringa School primary from grade 1, 73. I learned there for 4 years up to 75. Then I left. Kwenda ku Bulawayo because Pakaita Wondo, that's when the liberation struggle.
Oh yeah, those years.
Gonde Valley, that was the gateway for the comrades who were armed to come into Zimbabwe to liberate us.
I was told kuti vakatopinda nepamushapedu chaipo pabunjira.
That was the gateway because the Gonde Valley Pungwe, that area. Where Mama Simikwe, and then they'll just follow the Gonde Valley. And then come through. So I think in terms of the liberation dividend, you and I, but that's a story for another day. We need to be compensated for providing the basis for Zimbabwe to get the gateway for liberation. So that's where I started my soccer career, really, Pamaringa. I was rather smallish. I was well known more for fighting. Because because my father was Bulawayo, and then I became a sort of punching bag within the community. But then there was a guy who is now working for Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights, but he was a soldier before he joined the human rights sector. And so he used to then enjoy putting me in conflict with other youngsters. Arnold. And then because I didn't have anyone who protected me, they'll just say, okay, this is your mother's breast, this is your mother's breast. Then someone quanyas it, hey, that was then generated into serious Zimbabwe. So I really distinguished myself at that age in terms of. So
you ever thought of taking up boxing?
No, again, sports development. Frankly speaking,
no one identified your talent.
No one, plus I was not really aware about boxing at that point. So everything we did was soccer, so squish. We'll just do a lot of plastics and then play soccer. And that time I used to play right back. Kumusha, but I was on the smallish side, so I didn't manage to get into the A team for Chikoro. Then I think I was actually in indi C or D team. But the spirit was there. The spirit was there. And then Wondo started, and then the struggle. The comrades were coming. Fire. Every night there will be shooting, and there will be all the sort of things. And then in 1975, in fact, myself with this guy called Elia Matanda. Elia Matanda is a former soldier, and then but he's also a brother to the Zach chairperson, Lois Matanda Moyo, who is a cousin. So we planned that we were going to cross over going to Mozambique to join the liberation struggle. At grade 4. You lie? I'm telling you, it was the order of the day. You couldn't grow up in that environment and not be convinced about the necessity of going to fight. But then, and when you're discussing this in Murivana, then my mother, who I stayed with because my father was Bulawayo, and Elias, Lois Matanda's mother, they were hearing us planning to say, the moment we open schools, then we, on the first day, then we cross. Then we cross then you're out. So these guys, they had and they got terrified because they also realized we were young.
Okay, yeah.
So they conspired with our fathers. But okay, these people now they must actually go for holiday. Kunana Baba.
Yeah.
Matandas Aishanda ku Darrenwell.
Okay.
I think that's where they went. And then my father was in Bulawai.
Yeah.
So that's how I found myself in 1975 going to Bulawai. At that point, I thought I was just going for holiday. And then when schools open, we cross. But then when we got to Blues, Darren said, I'm Chadzoki, you are now going to go Kulen Kumagweg. So when he said, you're now going to learn Gubulawai, it was such a disappointment. And then I remember very well that Elia Matanda then wrote a letter, we waited for you, but it's a cross. I had to cross. That's why he then became a soldier. So he wrote Achita Tamira. But if you come back and you think you can cross, I think that Kutete. So you can just look for us.
But you want to serious?
Serious. Very serious.
Well, yeah, you knew what is Arnold.
Yeah. The entire community, our age groups, everyone crossed. So you didn't get to Manisco away from the struggle, which was a big disappointment for me because I already wanted to challenge I'm not going to go. I wanted to.
I remember my eldest brother wanted to go, but then
yeah. No, but the spirit of fighting for liberation was so strong among the kids at that point.
Yeah, because racism,
domination of blacks by my whites, no opportunities. So I think we felt it. The struggle was real. It was actually quite real. But then, so again, at that point, because we were so young, I think the parents did the right thing. But we were simply going to be my refugees.
I was going to ask you that question, which is what do you regret that you didn't go?
No. I think they made a good decision.
You happy that they did that?
They did a good decision because it would have meant that you are put in my camps and then my refugee camps with no opportunity, then you are deprived of opportunities to learn and even to be useful to the country. Yeah. And then the result is that you can also be killed, and then you could also reach a point where the liberation struggle itself, 1980, from 66, that 14 years, which means when we got our independence under 14, I would have been one of those who go about lying. But yet you will have been a refugee. You'll be too young to do that. So I think... Therefore, from that basis, whilst I was heavily disappointed, I think it was a correct parental decision.
But my 14 years,
that's the stage at which they started training and getting food. Like my brother Eli, who came back, he actually was 3 years older than me, so I'm 17, but he actually fought. Agatopinda. And even in the army, he was in the army, Agatopinda, into the Mozambique struggle to go and defeat the Renamo.
I'm amazed. I read this book, this novel, right? So I got so interested. One day I'll do a program. He
actually played for Buffaloes in Division 1.
Your brother?
Yeah, Eli Matano. The one exactly. And now I go human rights. So to see him getting into the struggle, now he's actually fighting for human rights, even as the majority of my veterans actually know Takato Pensa.
I would like to hear about.
I'll give you my contacts.
Yes, I want him to sit here.
But anyway. So when I then went to Bulawai, I had a brother, Angati Koko, a guy who was already in Matebeleland. So then he was playing for the Saints Juniors.
Yes,
so I used to tag along, watch train under 12, under 14, under 15. So that's how I...
I'm going to proper development structure.
Yes. In fact, in the old end, that's one of the missing links in the Premier League now, that my teams are not investing in the young generation. And the majority of... even the culture, the teams had a certain culture that was... infused into the youth.
Because why back under 14
Yeah.
you wasn't go big from anywhere.
So and so that's how I came across on Ephraim Chawanda, on a Mishek's banda, on a Garkai Rodzi. Because
they were still juniors.
My juniors, and we were playing together.
You actually played
but I was poor. I wasn't as good as they were.
But you were there.
But I was part of my juniors, so we played together, and that's where my experience aspire to play in the Premier League came from. In fact, we were playing in the juniors in Zimbabwe Saints.
Please, let's go through the names again. Let's go through the names.
Ephraim Chawanda
at that time.
Ephraim Chawanda, Melo Sinkiwane, Garkai Rodzi, John Sibanda. Those were
and those Saints league championship in
that's the reason why I didn't fit in that team, because it did my superstars.
Imagine.
It was a team,
and that team was under 14. You guys win a league championship. And then even providing the captain of Zimbabwe, Captain Fantastic, Ephraim Chawanda. That's the reason why he ended up being the captain of Zimbabwe. And it also explains why Ephraim, if you remember towards the end, Tanganda, which I'm going to come to, Ephraim came as a coach, and I played together with him Central Defense for Tanganda. It's because of that history. When I saw that we needed to strengthen a bit, I said, Ephraim, you were we're going to better with Germany, South Africa, Nemunom. But I think you're still useful for us. We're getting the interesting
so that's how So that's where the very strong interest in Premier League. And then primary school, I played for my first team, Magwegwe. Magwegwe primary school. And then I transferred to Mazwi. They built a new suburb, Magwegwe North. And then they had a school in Mazwi. I went there, and now I'm grade 7, but I was also playing for the team Mikoko. And then I went to secondary school, Njube Secondary School. So Njube, that's where we also had. I played more B side. My brother was playing in the A team, but I was in the B side. So, but then that's where there was a player, Jealous, who was playing in the first team in Njube, who actually ended up playing first team in Zimbabwe Saints together, Nana Mishek, Nana Ephraim Chawanda. So you can see that's where the interest in playing Garkai Rodzi, and then even Ephraim Chawanda and Mishek Sibanda. Mishek Sibanda was a short guy.
Short.
But what is Kwan?
And
then spring, aerial capacity was amazing.
So you played with them in high school?
High school, Njube, Jealous. I was now Saints, but of that crop, I'm Jealous. And then fast forward, I then went to Ndapita Form 4, Kunjube, for A level.
Okay, we're just gonna go for a break. When we come back, we take it up. Perfect. From A level.
Absolutely.
And interesting story.
Okay, no problem.
Anyway, sure. Guys, we're just going to go for a break. When we come back, we'll be talking more. This is Arnold Tsunga in the studio. He was born in Blawayo, but grew up in Wonder Valley. Grow up again in Blawayo, back to Blawayo as well. Interesting story that is. Part 2 will be about his adult life when he started playing football at senior level as well after high school. Don't move away. We are back in a moment.
Losing the person I loved the most was one of the hardest things I've ever had to face.
And because I was away from home, it made it much more difficult.
That is when I saw how important it is to have a friend.
A friend to ease the burden.
A friend to take care of things when you can't.
A friend to help you get home.
Welcome back in touch with a legend. Yes, we have got a legend in the house, Arnold Tsunga. Before we go to part 2, please, we just want to remind you, please go to our Facebook page and like the page. Also go to our YouTube channel, Zim Soccernet, and like the channel. Also subscribe to the channel so that we can always interact with you guys. We always have some features there that we want you to have a look at. There's a very interesting feature there. We talked about the top 10 goalkeepers in the country ever. You can scroll down our Facebook page, you will see it. We want your opinion on that one as well. Then definitely we would want you to tell us about your own top 10 goalkeepers in Zimbabwe. I will pose that question to Arnold Tsunga as well at the end of the show. Anyway, part 2, we are with Arnold Tsunga. Arnold, so high school, A level. You said you went to?
Tegwani. I went to Tegwani. It's called Tegwani, but we used to call it Tegwani then.
Oh, okay.
It's in
Tegwani.
Yeah.
So
my whites failed to understand Tegwani, which is the proper name. And then they said Tegwani. And then that became the popular name.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's where I did my A level. 84 to 85. And that's where I started really beginning to be visible in terms of my soccer playing career.
You playing for the school now?
I was playing for the school team and I was the captain.
Oh, now you were now the captain.
Now I was showing my leadership qualities and helping the coach to set up my winning teams. So in March South, we were the champions. There was absolutely no doubt. The team that I captained was the team that really dominated. And that time, that's where the Coca-Cola company introduced the national competition. There were provincials. Then my provincial champions would time against each other to produce a national champion.
Yes.
And one of my brothers, Arnold Tsunga, it's a later issue, but he actually played for Mutare Boys High that also won the national championships. But that's a story for another day. But then, so being a captain and I was playing right back.
Your family, you want to jump, Baba, but you
8, 4 boys and 4 girls. So we had 4 boys, and my firstborn Charles, he left for the war together. In fact, they left on the same day and at the same time and in the same company. Lieutenant General Mike Nyambuya.
Nyambuya from UNFILTERED.
Yes. Wakati of Sumuka from the same house because they lived together. So they actually left together.
Okay,
across
St.
Columbus. They left from St. Columbus past Kamandea, and then they went. That's the route they took. So, and then that's where we got inspiration to also then want to go. They went ahead of us.
Okay, so that was Charles.
So, and so unfortunately his date is late. But at least he contributed to the struggle for Zimbabwe's independence and left 2 beautiful kids. In fact, 3 beautiful kids with us. And they've gone to become my lawyers as well. So we've been very successful in bringing a family. You don't mess around with the Tsunga family now. It's a very strong family. They know the law and they can execute it effectively. Plus and then they also believe in human rights. Very family. So it's a very strong family on those values.
So
and then Tonde, my brother, is he then played more Division 1 for in the CPMZ. So it was a very strong team, and he played together with like the secretary of JSC, Walter Chikwana. He also played for CPMZ. So, and then they were juniors. And then they were also our punching bags at Tanganda. Because when we were playing for Tanganda, we needed... So we needed my team as we prepared to play against strong teams like yours. Second during the week, but but when he was in high school, he also won the national team, and then the 4th one.
We are the 4th one.
Arnold said the guy. The guy is a member of parliament for Mutasa South.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
this is the one who comes just ahead of me. So I come in there and see some Arnold Tsunga. I think he might be contesting for election.
South into do I mix South and North? South into Kutsonzo.
South, yeah, kune Kutsonzo, Penalonga, Nema Farms.
And it because North into Kwedu.
North in the Kwenyu.
Kwedu,
yes.
Then
Central doing Wanamtasa, whatever valley, Nedisi.
Okay.
Yeah,
No central.
No central. Do Nasarawa.
Okay, like that. Okay.
Yeah, so my brothers go Mtasa South.
South.
Yeah, but he lost kuna Mishek Mkaza the lawyer by elections aketwa 22 March here, 2002. So I think he's a bit slow, but that's politics.
It is what it is.
So that's the third one. But he had the best promise in our family because Zimbabwe since he would be my substitute even at the time when Mishek Subanda and Ephraim were playing because he was a very strong person to defense. But then somehow he went to teach Misha, and then Tangana was saying let's have him in, but he didn't have the willpower to teach. He was a headmaster as well. So being a headmaster, his view was but in them times, I was not a lawyer. I played in Premier League.
Exactly. We're going to discuss about that.
So anyway,
that media, we want to dispel it for one and for all. Because the human rights lawyer, football at the highest level in this country.
Yeah. But anyway, so that time I go Tegwani. Then I left 1986 to do my law degree. But even law degree, it was accidental. It's not like I really planned to do law. I first got recruited in the Shita Bachelor of Arts English. And then Professor Kahari, I don't think he knows it. I think he's late as well. Yeah, but Professor Kahari, after a month, Daniel a few assignments, said, the way in which you are arguing and the logic you are showing in your assignments, why don't we try you to law faculty? I had absolutely no idea what law faculty did because I was in the deep of Mamisha and we didn't have this career guidance. So I said, I'm in your hands. So he then took me to the Dino Law School and said, I think this guy is promising. Why don't you give him a chance? And I was lucky because now it's not possible to get into another faculty or change because there's so much pressure for places. But in 86, the pressure wasn't much. So 1 month doing Bachelor of Arts English, then I was in transferred to law.
2 years.
Yeah, which I think was good because it allows people to have a feel. You align your academic what you feel. It's a value system. So I was very lucky, and then I started doing law. And then Ku University, I really played a lot of soccer there. In fact, maybe I was more popular for soccer than for my studies.
But the good thing is, we have been facilities that time. Because it was sport.
I wanted to play Premier League.
Yes.
Yeah, because the pitches were excellent. My dressing rooms, my facilities, even from a planning, logistics, transport, food, in terms of my dietary requirements. Everything was organized. Really, that university was brilliant. It's one of the best experiences.
This is what I even to this day. My universities, colleges should actually be the places where development, sport, not just football. Sport development is supposed to be happening in
sports, even human. We should really look at it in a broader sense, human development. So you are developing my accountants, my scientists, my lawyers. You must also be developing my sports personalities. Well, it's an entertainment industry. If you look at it, this is an entertainment industry. And you might find the entertainment industry offers a lot in terms of recreation, well-being. Just trying to create opportunities for people to slow down, to wind down, after serious work. So these professionals who are providing that entertainment need to be developed as in terms of human development. And it's not happening in our country. And unfortunately, maybe something which you can talk later, when Chester Coventry was appointed, I really thought it was a perfect fit to really have someone who has very strong experience in sport.
Who walked the path.
Walked the path and benefited from development, human development, and then benefited the country in terms of the number of accolades that she got for us and put our country right up there.
Right at the top.
But now, I don't know whether she should not be given space, but it will be an interesting conversation.
Okay, so you were playing a lot of football.
I played a lot of football, and then when we got the University of Zimbabwe team, Young Division 5, but each of the years, 4 years that we were there, Young Age promoted. Yeah, so by the time we left Young Division 1. Initially, it was just lecturers, but towards the end, because of progression at that Cheetah, we ended up looking for my coaches. I think the last coach, Oliver Chidau, he played for Caps, I think.
I remember. I remember the name.
Yeah. So he then became the coach who took us from Division 3 into Division 2, and then promotion to Division 1.
Yeah, use it.
So I remember we then left a space where there was even further development. Teacher Murewa, and then Benjamin, our superstar.
Marwar also came to play for UZ.
Yes. So we ended up actually beginning to develop a pool of my professionals who had capacity in a different area or trainer, but we were also showing that you can be an academic, but also be able to a sports person. So we wanted to debunk the myth soccer in the sports, in the entertainment industry, just like music. When we were growing up, we took out music, but now you can.
But we actually have a doctor who is actually a musician.
You can say Andrew Singh.
Yes, but he's an engineer, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a lawyer by training. Chasangarwani ahead of us. Yeah, but he's actually Anoimba and interest of Kimbaga to Garangor now.
Exactly. So we need to
that mythology has to be debunked. My parents must support Wana, especially on the recreation front, because when you are able to, you know it could. When you play soccer, you are enjoying yourself.
Yes.
But you're also getting paid for it.
Exactly.
And then you are getting fit. You know,
and sometimes you can actually use that money for your education.
For your education as well. Saka, and if you then develop to the point where Nakamba, Zemura, you might actually find that you begin to earn even more than academics when you go to Bachelor of Arts or something. And yet, and the country can benefit from that, especially if you export. Whereas it seems like countries like Nigeria, when a mass exportation of talent, the amount of money that then comes back, is my diaspora remittances is very high. So I think but it's sports development, and you said we need to go to a session on sports development.
Tell me about it. Jordan Semura recently moved from Bournemouth to Udinese in Italy. The transfer fees is Zimbabwe no know anything.
I don't think Zimbabwe got anything as a country. But that's the thing. If we were to professionalize our soccer administration,
if grew up here, but like a development
and even
his team,
and even in one English term, sports management. Nisuma lawyers who do sports law, when you do your transfers and the person has been developed, you can build my clauses.
Yes.
If the person reaches a certain level, something. If the person moves from one team to another,
plus my manager, management fee as well.
Also get
it that. Comes to Zimbabwe.
But develop our capacity to manage and lead and administer sport.
Yeah,
that's the bigger problem.
So how did you end up? Tanganda.
So that is a degree, law. I had a big crisis. Where do I go and practice my law? So the overriding factor for me was not to find a job in a law firm, but to find a city where I can have a team where I can get entry into playing for the Premier League.
Oh, you wanted football?
I wanted to play. So I
Interesting,
thought Saints, they had no Saints. So Anacha wonder that team was playing,
it's
so it was too
strong for
good.
me. Yeah, too good.
Then Muno Mwana kept Mimi, you were too good at team Mwana, Murisa, and Yochitembwe. And you become, if you come as an outsider, you're opposite Bora, Karoka, Pastor, Japa chest.
So you decided that no, I rather know.
Get where I'm safe. No. And get where I'm safe is Mutare. Because Tangana was just getting promotion into the league. And in it, because during my times when I was taking holiday from university, I got an old location. And that location is the hub, the team Tangana Johnson Baraza, Anthony Masunde and his brothers Wanda Masunde, Cliff Matondo and my brothers Ian Matondo.
So kuna Chinyasunzi ndo old location.
It's part of old location.
Because ndo waikarakana Cliff Matondo
yeah, exactly. So in India that's the area.
Oh, yes. My uncle stayed there.
Excellent.
So we used to come there.
Sports Oval, if you remember, Banes Sports Oval.
Banes pool across the stadium.
That's where we all would be playing Manero. So I would go and practice a law, and then when I come back, then the entire team, they train at this. Generally. So I was so familiar now, and we're such good friends that they then said, especially Johnson Barras. He's one who then said, I know I could be a lawyer, and that maybe on a lot of time, but come. Timbo, we see you as a potential person to play with us. So that's how I got into the team. And then these guys were such that if you didn't get along now, you would not play.
Almost got paid. Sangarika community. Saka you were lucky to wakamboita my friends now outside. Saka ndo wakaunza.
So
was ngangobve anyway. But those ones zvakanakira matimu ekudhara, ma community teams. Sangarika vana veimomo. So kana kuti ndobva kuno kwenda tamba kumanguro. Nana Benjamin Zulu nana vasikapindike zvo.
No, not zokumanya. Because then you don't get my proper passes. And then you my hospital pass. You know, when you get a hospital pass, you make sure it's not control a bar. And then you can go maybe you get a chest. So yeah, that's how I got into
Who was coaching that? Who was coaching at that time?
At that time, Jimmy Malomo. Those were the coaches. But we got along so well because I was already practicing as a lawyer. So they were very happy to have a lawyer in the team.
And
you have confidence because when I wrote it, I just tell my lawyer, I mean, when I kept managing.
Let's just go for a break. When we come back, we take it out from where you joined the Tanganda. We've got Arnold Tsunga in the studio telling us about his football journey. Guys, don't move away. We're getting back in the third segment. Interesting story, that is.
Oh, my sister, mother, boss, how are you? I want to go. I was already one go.
Right, kunema sawira chili pano panyarazo airport lounge. Saka chili kuti kuneva kumburuka vachibuda nevari kumburuka vachipinda tinokutambira ine maoko maviri pa lounge pedu.
And also don't forget to get a Sawira International plan today.
Nampla.
Yes.
Anyway.
Welcome back, In Touch with the Legend. We are in touch with Arnold Tsunga. Now you have joined Tantan. Remember your first game?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Take us through from the training session. How did it come up?
But why do you want to cause pain? Because first game is a painful game.
Yes, we want to hear all about the pain as well.
So no, the thing is, when I was with varsity, I used to play as a center striker. But when I assessed Tanganda team, I realized that the place where I could have the greatest chance to succeed and compete was right back. We didn't have too many players. Kwakuna Jimmy Capitao, but it was clear that I got injured. Can't a problem. Then coach had to struggle to rearrange the team. So I thought that I could actually train. So that's where I started training a bit more. And then the first game I remember versus Mangura. Kumangura. Yeah, and
right back.
Right back.
Najani Milan.
But we made Najani Milan's, yeah. But we made a small error during the trip as a team. Pamarondera, because they sell honey in Engeri,
which is pure honey.
One in Engeri permitted to try to cross the railway line from Marondera. So people got excited somehow, and then we bought that honey, and then people wakatanga with a nibble it. Saka, it created big problems because when wakatanga with a running stomach. Oh, guys. Just before the game. So I could see my players rushing bathroom up and then you're facing such a fast team in terms of player.
Yeah, when Johnny Milan and Benjamin Zoo.
But which had something to do with speed. So I was on the bench, thankfully. And then so I'm watching, but the pace was so much. And then
because guys, if you know the name, please share with us. Yes.
But there was some name we said, yeah. But anyway, so as the game starts, they want to go to the bathroom. So at the moment you can go through plus
you take over, take off,
because my
but you man you do in a problem.
I think we lost about 5-1, but anyway, I then got into the pitch Kwasara 20-30 minutes.
But we go
this pressure. But we got in there, and then it was a very good experience just to get those first 20 or so minutes. But as you say, Johnny Milan's was serious. You guys were bad news. But anyway, so we got in there. But that was at least breaking the ice for me. And from there I started playing generally because I was actually able. I had quite some strength. Lucky I wasn't very skillful, but I see in a good, intelligent football mind.
The football mind.
Very strong. And then in a reading of my spaces in the movements. And then a bit of stamina. And that I used to maximum effect. Luckily, we didn't have and without VAR, I think we could get away with so many things.
With a lot of
I think if I played now, never.
My yellow
card, my red cards. Because after Munengo Chisa, my elbow and all those things. And understood in that Johnson Mbaraz. Johnson was a master. He was absolutely strong. But also one of the most skillful midfielders that we had. So he was absolutely no nonsense. But anyway, so that's how I started playing right back. And then I used to enjoy my games in the caps somehow because I don't know what happened. 11.
When we started playing, I started playing Darren T. Darren T. We played a bit. Then then we joined Caps United.
Exactly.
But you go to one group, but
short we are more.
Yes, with Darren T. With Darren T. I used to play left.
Yeah.
But with Caps United now, we used to play wherever.
But you
wherever you
manyera
feel
kuna
like.
mavuna. I know that you
Yes,
played,
mavuna manje,
Why
mavuna ita
mavuna
makuleft
street,
manje. Yes.
Why mroa at a distance?
Mavuna inakidza maenda ikochinja direction kudai so. Saka inezeka nekutenda manje. Saka mavuna kwainakidza.
But then mistake itika sure type of yakwandiri.
Yes.
And sure younger big.
Yes, to temba manje pafipa pakunyazi. Iba ndo mama ida off.
Ndo kwakutoruba sekonge ko.
Yes.
Because
Sama mva mabetsera manje. Yes, to ida screen a lot. Yeah.
So and that wouldn't work with me. So
I didn't
want you to come in when you because you also small, short, very strong and athletic.
Yeah, because
and then
I never
quick
wanted
change
to
of directions.
I never wanted to shield the ball.
Yeah.
They push and go change direction.
Peter and Love and yourself, but very strong similarities. When I marked them, Peter and Love will be the same thing that you would not allow for physical contact.
Yeah.
And if he controls the ball, you're finished. So with Peter and with Alice, you try to avoid them controlling.
Yeah.
So it was more.
Yeah.
So for me, the strategy was disruptive. When I marked him, Peter, disruptive in that you disrupt him from being able to get the ball. Or not defender, but supporters won't understand. Munato defender, it's not very attractive to look at.
Yeah.
But if you achieve that destructive approach, Muno is unable to control.
That was the idea.
That was the idea. Peter, when he gets the ball, Peter, finish. You put it in a space, then let's go.
Let's go.
And then if you're trying to approach him, he changes direction and you're so lethal. So that's how I'm playing. So I enjoyed playing Caps, Ikoko, and then Caps either right back or defensive link.
Yeah.
Because
yes, I wanted to ask him. Sometimes you were playing, but
defensive. Yeah. Well, Joe Mugabe, somehow you were scared of me. I think you saw risky.
Because
because he was a very smart person. Because of knowing the path Yebora. I would stand in a path he moves away from where he can be dangerous and effective for Caps. So this is why I think Caps were a very good record. Caps. But you guys also, and don't forget the role in terms of application. The Makelele role, you have a defensive link who is not visible but wins a lot of balls.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know
but when William Jerry, because those guys are dribblers. You want to go to Canada when Joe Mugabe from disruptor.
But you believe you played a big role.
Pivotal role in terms of just stabilizing the defense.
Did you play in that Castle Cup game?
I didn't. That's one of my biggest disappointments. Because I got injured during training, and then Mishek Marum, who was coaching us, he didn't want to take my chances. So even if I regained fitness just before, he preferred let's put Jimmy because he was 100% fit. So I was watching from my terraces, and it was one of.
But you came.
I was
with the team.
No, I was there with the team. Yeah.
Then you jumped onto the field.
Yes.
But you get the medal.
No, I didn't because I was not part of it. Yeah. So that was a big disappointment. But it was a very good collective result we contributed towards the team. Yeah, being able. But did you ever believe? Maybe that's why we won.
Yeah, maybe. I think so. Yeah. Because I don't know what they
but Cheche Billet was very good. Yeah, I remember that. But Cheche Billet was brilliant in terms of the role.
Yes, he was
brilliant. And Badanga Singa, that's the thing. Yeah. Except Muchera, who also played defensive link. Aita Makele the first half. And then Kanaya second half, he was really going attacking. But in the first few minutes, he was cautious. What is the flow?
So what did you do after the win? After you beat Caps United?
No, we ran into trouble because it was in 1993, I think.
Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah, 93. Yeah. And then that's when we had the drought. Was if you remember, the country had a drought 91, 92. And it's also sponsored Netanganda, which is owned Nemicos. And then, it's a growing cycle, tea. It's about 3 to 5 years. It's like a drought now. the impact of drought in terms of level of profitability a company is
it was
felt
running about 2 years later.
2, 3, 4 years later.
Yeah.
So 93 was we won the team, 94, 95. We started feeling the effect of drought, 91, 92, because Papasina tea production and the investors, my shareholders, made a decision. Equity, we cut the expenditure, the non-productive expenditure.
Yeah.
So they took away support soccer 95, and we immediately struggled.
But do you believe Young is still productive? Tangana was not productive as a club with the marketing mass or with the marketing cloud that the club, because Tangana was now popular.
Very.
The club.
Yeah.
So wasn't that part of production?
It was, but that's the thing. When you have people who don't look at soccer from, as I say, an entertainment perspective, it's entertainment sector, and therefore it contributes to marketing my products. The only reason why
and the happiness a community and the company as well,
and even loyalty community to the product.
Exactly.
So if you look at EPL, I think that's one of the reasons why the EPL has been a success globally. It has been even successful here, not because we get anything from them, but simply because they've marketed themselves very well, and they're now able to get so much in terms of Marino Badarwa by people who want to associate with the PL, to the point that they make huge sums of money. Yet Isuzu, we don't have a similar approach. Equity. If we were to look at my teams, especially those that are corporate sponsored, they are the marketing wing, the advertising wing of a business profile.
Yes.
So if you look at it from a value chain, you should be saying, where do they locate themselves in the value chain
of the
this business?
You man wasting money, but they are not looking at how much the club is bringing in terms of marketing the company,
customers
and the customers that are coming,
the product,
and loyalty for the community, loyalty to the brand,
all those things
as well.
So Tangana lost it there. I think it was a big mistake, but it's also because when you
you are going unpopular. As a tea, as Masamba, to be honest. For some of us, I can
No, it's true, and I think it was a big strategic error and miscalculation on the part of the business owners. Tantan. And when you say popularity yangu Chita Arnold, people will know me more because of Tantan, less as a lawyer. And so even me, from a marketing perspective, it is Tangana.
It played a part. In you, who you are right now, what you are still doing even now. Yes.
It builds profiles.
Yes.
Not just individual, but company profiles.
So what did they do? What did you guys do now?
So we struggled because when that happened, there's a businessman around Matangaidze. He's late now. Myself, na Tino Zwabere.
Hungary related to Tapiwa Matangaidze.
He's the elder brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, elder brother. So Itapo is one PSL or yes, that's the elder brother. And so we started contributing from our own coffers in Tino Zwabere na Matangaidze to support the team. So we did it 95, 96, 97. But it was a huge strain because you have to provide transport, you have to provide my bonuses, you have to provide food, accommodation when people travel. And that type of thing does not need my individuals who are on a salary to be doing that. It really needs to be integrated as part of a business.
But why did you ever think about commercializing the club, since it was Tantan? Obviously, that club. Wasn't it?
We tried to do communal because it was a communal business, and it then rebranded to be Mutare United, because we were hoping that if it's Mutare United, it unites the Mutare community. And then, but the gate takings, as you all know, they were so small and insignificant to be able to contribute to the stuff, especially player welfare. And then the local business people, they didn't feel they wanted to invest in the team, except Yamatangaze. He really tried. And then I think you actually need a big business to be involved if you are to make it a viable enterprise.
Okay.
So we really struggled, and in the long run, the team ended up being disposed to through Chairperson Odangaritino Zoaber. He got into an agreement with a businessman, Guero, to be the primary sponsor. We're team. And then that meant the team was now playing Magemza Guero. Yeah. So, but and then our best players were then taken for a song by other teams. You know, could Eddie Dube end up playing Highlanders, just like Blessing Gumiso. He ended up leaving Kunotamba Highlanders, and they contributed a lot in terms of Highlanders winning 4 or 5 consecutive championships.
They were now playing.
And Gumiso was deadly.
He was one of the standout players.
But Ukamfunza, you tell you, because it was the Makelele role. So Johnson Baraza, myself, Fana Kennedy Suwari, he was our understudy. And so, and in Madzanya, that was the nickname because power. So Gumiso, that's the tactic he used to dine Islanders. And he thinks longevity game pitch was as a result of that approach, where you have very minimum time that is spent with the ball. But your main job is to disrupt the attack and to strengthen defense, and then to give it to my attacking players. So na Edinyika, they also went to Islanders. So we really had a carnage. William Chari, who was one of our strong midfielders, he left. I think he played for Dynamos.
He came to Caps.
He came to Caps. So we lost very good players. And once you lost good players, even the idea of a community team now, you want to interest a community with players who are not identifiable and who are looking as average to the community. So the interest lose as a result.
So
team
so that was the end.
And then he died a natural death.
And where did you go?
No, I focused on my practice.
You retired after that?
I simply retired in 97.
Okay,
And then I started focusing on trying to make money in private practice.
Because
I lost opportunity to make money
then you started doing law.
I started practicing law in Kwamtaria. But I actually started in 1990. I was playing soccer and practicing law. But which was a very unique thing. And I think that's the only time that we've had a practicing lawyer playing soccer football in Zimbabwe, in the history of our country.
So we want more.
We need more.
Yeah, we need more.
But then we inspired Orangatan Tawia Mrewa. But it was also very good to get a medical doctor being able to play soccer in the Premier League. And he was such a tough nut.
Yeah, I want to say fine.
And then because what because then what was happening was my coach said somehow, because they knew he's a medical doctor and I'm a lawyer. They would then pay us. So he gave me a to return. Because he was very strong, but also very skillful. And he's sort of person who, when the supply lines are not working, he would fall back. And can speed again, his capacity to weave around. So that's how, and then the media was also very interested in that game, especially Manigapos, when they would always say, we want to see whether the doctor is going to run away from the long arm of the law.
It was Sabuba Stadium.
The two of us, we attracted a lot of.
No, it was a big loss. Tanganda moving out was a big loss from that.
But that gave birth to Buffaloes.
And
because many of my players was Buffaloes.
But in your career, that who do you think with this one was my most difficult opponent when I was playing football? I never fast.
Collins Cabot.
Collins
Cabot was tough. You know, Collins Makabote.
With bullets, yeah.
Because he was so
What
strong and
Yeah.
then he was so skillful.
Yeah.
Sakangani combination of strength and skillfulness.
awatamba kuti maisangana kaupoza tamba uku
Yeah, and then he was also strong in the air.
Yeah.
Sakangani,
He was a big boy.
he
He
had
was a
too
big
many things, advantages over me. Saka, yeah, I think I had a Blackpool.
Yeah.
Blackpool,
He
yeah.
later
So
played for Blackpool.
that was a tough one.
Yeah.
And then of course Tawia was a tough player
Was
as
a
well.
menace as well.
Then Peter Ndlovu, it was impossible to mark him kana Ari on his element.
Yeah.
But luckily for me, Peter Ndlovu always preferred to play kuna Mavuna ku left.
Right, yeah.
And then ku right,
Yeah.
Mavuna ngaro,
Mavuna
Peter
ku
ku
left,
right, yeah. And then Adam ndiye upside kwangu.
Yeah.
But Adam ndayemwonesa moto.
Yeah,
He
because Adam was more power as well. So
just like short. Everyone will say and that's where I got recognition. Because ukaona chimaka unadasana Stuart Murisa Joe Mugabe when Adam totally out of the game.
Yeah, I've outclassed them.
That's exactly what that was the advantage I get. But otherwise Mugo mnyoro izvaichinja.
Yeah.
The times when
anangoda kuita kunge Collins kabote
angatasa Collins but angasina mental stamina yakafanana ya Collins. Collins angane strength, body, skill and then powerful mind. Yekuti mental stamina you couldn't play games even
umpoka
or to try and intimidate him.
Ngova ifashati.
Even ushandisa chiloya kuti ndiri lawyer apana but yet Mgowe I respect that I'm dealing with a professional. And you take advantage of Nangosoka respect Kadiko what dominate because mentally dominate.
Yeah.
Saka Mgowe right as well. There are times when you will really come and determined. You will give me a total time. And then is speedy.
Kutangana makimbot boy first 11, your best 11. You know this one. Can I mira utangana this was our best 11.
Yeah. I'll put Nelson Bandura as the goalkeeper. Yeah. But or even Malo. Makipa Zanangari they were very good, Nelson Bandura, I'll put him and then myself go right back. Then Kudzika Zirange. He was also a very short guy, but with a powerful spring. I don't think anyone ever headed the ball ahead of Kudzi. And that was the shortest guy, but defensive link, central defense. Ian Matondo.
Okay, right number 2.
Yeah, or a trip up. And then even Shadrach Mugurasawe. It's a very tough one. But Shadu was also a good defender. And then left you Dave Mavuna. Mavuna didn't have too many challenges. Left. And then but defensive link you would put Johnson Barrett. Okay. If you put Johnson County Johnson Barrett. One Johnson Barrett. And then you go right. I still feel good Nesbet Lombo. There's a young man Nesbet Lombo. He came from Chitungis. I go Cape Town now. But he was so fast.
Nesbet wines in a buyer.
I found
I get a suit.
I get a soda before the game. And then I had a very good combination.
You mean Robert Jagat? Robert Jagat
Robert Jagat.
Okay. Okay.
Because I found he was the fastest player that I've ever come across. Yeah. And then William Cherry. By 8, I think.
By 8, yes.
And then Webster Simba still stands out.
Number 9,
by
yeah,
number
of
9.
course. Yeah.
I pick he was very strong. And then I'll put Lloyd Mtas. Number 10. And then Chapo Terera.
Chapo. Very strong.
You never know where to go. You have no idea what you'll be running like an amoeba. As a result, you lost my defenders a lot.
So what do you do? What are you doing now?
You know, now I'm the country director of the National Democratic Institute. Okay. Chief of party. So I run programs out.
Is it a political party?
No, National Democratic Institute is an international organization that is focused on working to make democracy produce more dividends for my citizens. So again, in chief of party, I just joined them 2 years ago. Before that, another Africa director, were International Commission of Jurists. So running my programs in more Africa to build the rule of law and strengthen my institutions of justice as Africa.
The big lawyer.
Big lawyer,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah, but you wanted to get into politics at some point.
I did experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a disastrous experiment.
What happened?
No, you know, it's really changed theory.
Yeah.
You ask yourself, where can you make the greatest contribution to build our country? And so I've been very lucky to get a private practice for a long time, very successfully. I've been into sports admin, sports management. Then I went into international development work. Then when I realized what I said international development work, I thought maybe let me try to see if I'm in a political angle. Does it introduce better results? But it's the most useless experiment I ever did. Because politics in Zimbabwe are just really, you know, power should be a resource and not a case. It's a resource that you should use when you get privileged to be given that power, to use it for developmental purposes, rather than to place your proximity in power to be proximity to economic opportunity. So many of the players who are in politics, they are getting involved because there's an economic
the opportunities that come with it.
So you can't.
It's not for
developmental purposes. So politics has really become a case in our countries: toxicity, disagreements, inability to develop our country. Exactly. Yeah. So all those things. I thought
you make a decision.
I said I'm So now let me work and contribute to my country from a space and development where I am now. So I'm very happy.
Where you can use your educational background to actually push. So your best year or your best
I'm now best year. But I spend a lot of time outside because of fact I run a number of projects outside as well,
Alright. Thank you very much for coming on to the show. It has been an exciting story indeed.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much. We hope to see you again sometime on the show, or hope to see you somewhere in football as well.
Exactly.
Any ambitions to come into football and on that development side, because you have got a background.
Yeah, I think if we do it as my former players, when a cognitive and intellectual capacity to have an idea of how to build sports development. We could be able to do it as much projects like you're doing now to train your own team and create opportunities for the youngsters. But I think to translate that into political contestation for positions, it's a waste of time, because the environment is not allowing for technical leadership in serious.
Anyway, but I think you are
we never know. All of us who are there, we need to work together.
We need to come back to football and use your experience as well as a human resource, so that we can actually help
develop our country.
Thank you very much.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, guys, this was Arnold Tsunga. I've learned a lot. You know, it was an interesting story. You'll be back here in the studio to talk about other things, but we are happy that he was here to talk to us about his football development and his growth and what he's doing now. For now, I'm out of here. We will meet again next week when we bring you another Zimbabwe footballing legend to come here and share with us their football journey. Now, as a group of part in this show, my name is Alois Munjira. See you next week. Ciao.
Cheers.